Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, like I always say, welcome to the channel. Today is Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that you all had a good April. And in today's video, even though I'm a couple days late, I'm going to be giving my recap of April as well as a brief preview of what's coming here in May. So I'm going to jump right into it, and I'll be referring to my notes app on my phone here for pretty much the whole video because April was a very busy month. There's a lot coming up in May, and I want to make sure that I cover everything that needs to be covered the way that it needs to be covered. So I'm going to jump into it. So as far as work goes in April, it was a very busy month. It was a month like all the other months, full of progress and moving in the right direction towards my short term as well as my long term strategic goals. Working on my own projects at work as well as assisting my colleagues in their projects as well. And that's really about all there is to cover there. I just want to touch on that briefly, and there's something I want to revisit later on in the video when we talk about May. So, as far as the Foundation Fighting Blindness, always continuing, behind the scenes to help plan and strategize here for the Pittsburgh chapter, as well as be available for the national organization in any way that they need me. We have a couple of things coming up in the next couple of months that I'll be announcing once those plans have been solidified. However, there's not a whole lot to discuss as far as the foundation goes, particularly here in the Pittsburgh chapter right now. But things are coming, so stay tuned for that. As far as exercise and fitness and health, it wasn't really the month that I wanted it to be or hoped that it would be. I did okay, but definitely uh, missed some days where I was supposed to either run or eat as healthy as I should be that I didn't, but it was still decent, but not as good as it typically is or should be. But I'm not too worried about it. But I'm definitely I'm definitely gonna do a lot to get uh, back into the usual swing of things. On um, the 31st, which was technically so March 31st, we had Easter. So it was pretty small and tight knit. I think there were only seven of us. It was my parents and my sister and I, and my cousin, her fiance, and my aunt. So it was very, very small, and it was at our house. We hosted, and it was a very in uh, not because it was small, but it was a very just kind of cozy, nice, fun afternoon and evening. So had great food, great company, and really enjoyed the day. We had several family friend birthday parties throughout the month, both in the early half of the month and then the second half of the month. I have some friends who have small children, and they had some birthdays that we attended and hung out there and had a good time. Of course, good food, good company, like always. Had my Denver support group, or attended the Denver support group that I attend every single month virtually on Zoom in the middle of the month. I believe it was on the 16th, and that's always usually a highlight of my month because there are a lot of folks on there that have retinitis pigmentosa, and some people who have other retinal conditions. Some people there have Stargardt's disease. Some people have Usher syndrome. Some have other sight visually, vision issues rather don't that aren't necessarily inherited retinal diseases, but they come on and share their story and share their insights as to how they navigate the world with vision loss. And it's just a very, I think it's fun because I enjoy speaking with that many people who have significant vision loss, such as myself, who are at varying stages of vision loss and varying stages of life. And it's really cool to sit there and share my insights and feedback as well as listen to theirs as well. So that was really great. Um, I'm jumping around a little bit because there's some things that need more attention than others. Uh, on this past Sunday, my mom and I went to go see Tarzan, which was put on by my high school, St. Joseph High School, at another high school, Freeport High School, and it was really great. I mean, Tarzan. I grew up watching Tarzan. Tarzan, the movie, the Disney movie, came out when I was like 7, and I actually went to go see the musical about 10 years ago at my local high school, Kiski area, and it was very good. So I was really excited to go see St. Joseph High School's version of it this past weekend, and it was really, really great. Especially some of the dancing, the singing obviously was good, but there was some choreography that was like kind of blew me away, and it was really great to be able to go and see and hear the that and experience that musical. So good job to my alma mater. Um, on a little less positive of a note, I had, probably due to allergies, uh, my left ear was full for about 10 days until about a week ago. And it was very annoying because it was so full that I had almost no hearing in my left ear for a week and a half, and already being legally blind and then being almost deaf in one of your ears for 10 days was very physically inconvenient as well as emotionally stressful. And I knew that it was going to resolve itself eventually, but that didn't make things less difficult in the moment, particularly physically, and kind of bummed me out. But I think it was this past Friday, it it popped, so everything's back to normal the way that it should be, and my mood has been up, my spirits have been up because it was just a very unfortunate situation for about a week or so, a little over a week, because it's bad enough to not be able to see well. Just add a little bit of a hearing impairment on top of that, and it was just very, very like I said, unfortunate. But it's resolved. I'm back to normal. Things are great. Those are the things that I kind of wanted to blow through. Now I want to kind of go back and talk about some of the highlights that I think deserve more attention. So, as you may recall, I had said in a previous video that on April 4th, I was going to be attending the Andrea Bocelli concert at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. And I did. And it was as good as I thought it was going to be. And my expectations were really high because I'm very familiar with his music. He met and exceeded those expectations, as did the other people, his supporting acts throughout the show. It was just a phenomenal performance. And I said before, I admire him. He's one of my role models. He's one of my heroes. He is blind, and he, to me, on top of being just a great singer and good at and amazing at his craft, he's at the top of his industry. He is really a true example to me, and really, I think anybody, whether they're visually impaired or not, he's an example of someone who has looked in the face of serious adversity and has mastered controlling what he can control, despite despite things that he can't control. And that's really what I'm striving towards in my career and in life in general. And one final thing I want to say about him specifically is that he's really, that I think is particularly inspirational for me, is that he has mastered a craft and taken his natural born gifts and created a business and a life for himself using a skill and a gift that doesn't require him to see. And that's really, without getting into it too much, that's the direction I'm trying to move into, both in my work currently and some things that I foresee, paths I see myself taking further on down the line. And yeah, so I mean, it was just a really phenomenal experience. And quickly, I want to give a shout out to my cousin, who I went to the concert with. She's my second cousin. She's about 25 years older than me. We've known each other my entire life, and this is actually the first time that she and I have ever done anything just the two of us together. And she did a really, really impeccable job in assisting me as my sighted guide and asking a lot of questions and receiving my feedback as to the type of assistance I needed. She was just really, really great, and I'm very fortunate to have a family that is so open to assisting me the way that I need or want to be assisted, especially in large crowded venues and situations like that. So that was really, really cool. Um, I A couple months ago I was asked by someone um, that I know in the blind and visually impaired community to participate in a Q&A and panel discussion with my mom in front of some executives at Johnson and Johnson here in Pittsburgh. They were coming to Pittsburgh. They were being hosted by UPMC, which is our big health system here. We have a big ophthalmology department, so that department was hosting these executives, and the Foundation Fighting Blindness also was a co-organizer of this dinner slash Q&A panel discussion. Now, the reason why all of these organizations were sort of jointly hosting this event is because Johnson and Johnson is currently working on a phase 3 clinical trial for retinitis pigmentosa, and more specifically the uh, X-linked type of retinitis pigmentosa, more specifically the RPGR gene defect. Now, the reason why I was asked to participate in this discussion with my mom is because I am X-linked and I do have the RPGR gene. And being X-linked, my mom was the carrier. She passed it down to me genetically, and that's why they wanted to hear from us. And I was actually asked by the education chair of our local Pittsburgh chapter, because we know each other. She knows my story, and I've actually spoken at an event before that she attended. So she really got to hear my story in that sort of a forum. So that's those are the reasons why we were asked to do this. And it was a really great experience. Dinner was phenomenal. It was at 11 down in the I think it's downtown, and downtown Pittsburgh. Really great restaurant, amazing service, amazing food, and the folks from Johnson and Johnson were really amazing people. There were probably about 30 or 40 people there between Johnson and Johnson and UPMC and the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and the J&J people were really incredible people. They received our the talk that my mom and I gave, the Q&A. It was very well received. They really seemed to really enjoy it and get a lot out of it. And really the purpose of this was to, because these weren't necessarily all research and medical and science people. A lot of these people were marketing executives, they were finance people, they were people that are more that are a little bit further removed from the actual science and medical and research aspect of things and more on the business side of things. And we were asked to share our story with these people to really put it into perspective for these individuals. And like I said, they really, the feedback that I got from them was that they really enjoyed what I had to say and what my mom had to say, and they really they were just really, really great people to hang out with for a couple hours. We had dinner after the talk, and it was just a very fun, very nice, very empathetic and kind group of people. And um, and it was just a really, really great opportunity to be able to speak on behalf of myself and my family, as well as speak to and on behalf of the Foundation Fighting Blindness, UPMC, and of course the various executives from Johnson and Johnson. So yeah, it was an honor and a privilege to do it. The next That was on the 15th of April, by the way. The next day, the 16th, was my mom's birthday, and she turned 65 this year, so a big birthday. And we just hung out here at the house, had some cake, and my sister came over for a little bit, and we just hung out and enjoyed the day. Um, she didn't want to do much, so we didn't do much, and but it was really fun and really nice. That pretty much wraps up everything that happened this month. Um, One thing that I do want to touch upon regarding work is that I there are days, and I've mentioned this before in a previous video. There are days where I wake up and I'm ready to just tackle my goals and just absolutely crush it. And then there's other days where I wake up and I just want to smell the roses. And because I don't know how much longer I'm going to have usable vision, and I don't want to spend every minute of every day while I can still see doing things that like just working and doing super serious things. Sometimes I just want to hang out and watch TV or hang out with family and friends or just exist, you know, and enjoy the vision that I have. And sometimes that makes me uh, that sort of mindset kicks in maybe a little more often than I would like it to, for the sake of progress in my business and in my career. And I found myself this month in particular, in April, really having to remind myself both consciously and subconsciously why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm pursuing the career that I'm pursuing, and the path that I'm walking down. And I know that I'm doing what I'm doing to try to mitigate the effects of losing the rest of my vision. But there are also other things, there are other reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. And those are the reasons that I'm going to kind of keep private right now. But those are reasons that are, there's just reasons separate from mitigating my uh, vision loss. And those are the things that I have to remind myself of. And while mitigating my vision loss is definitely a very significant motivating factor, it's also the reason, like, having this level of vision loss and having this prognosis is also like the reason why I want to smell the roses sometimes. So like I have these other reasons too why I'm doing what I'm doing that kind of do a good job at keeping me on the straight and narrow when I sometimes don't feel like doing things that I maybe I should be doing. So yeah, that's the story with that, and I'm not ashamed of it whatsoever. And I think it's reasonable. I think it makes me a human, and that 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 feels and fears. And I, um, but yeah, I think it was a very powerful realization this month, where I've reminded myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. Still going to smell the roses when I want to smell the roses, but definitely reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. That also not only keeps me on the straight and narrow, but also keeps me going when I feel like things are getting tough for one reason or another. Whether things are tough from a business standpoint, job, career standpoint, whether things are tough physically, mentally, emotionally, reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, whatever those reasons are, is the most powerful tool that I have personally to stay on the right path and accomplish what I've set out to accomplish. So that's it for April. As busy as April was, May is pretty much the same. For the next 9 weekends, really for the next 2 months, 6 of those weekends are booked up, and I really wouldn't have it any other way because it's all good stuff. But as far as May goes, work, same as usual. Exercise, going to do a little bit better. Diet, going to do a little bit better. Foundation Fighting Blindness, like I mentioned, going to keep you guys updated as things arise there. And we actually have a couple other birthdays coming up in May. Again, some family friends that have some kids that have some birthdays. And in the middle of May, on May 17th, it's actually my sister Amy's 30th birthday. And I'm very excited for it, and that's going to be definitely a big highlight of the month for sure. Um, and we have a couple other get-togethers with family and friends coming up. So it's just very May is going to be a very it's going to reflect April, and and I wouldn't have it any other way. So um, yeah, I really don't have much else to share with you guys, but I hope you're all doing well. I hope that you, like I said, I hope you all had a great April. Hope you all have a phenomenal, fun, safe, happy May, and I will be talking to you guys in the next video. As things come up, I might be filming another video before my next recap. If not, I'll see you guys in the next recap. Have a great day. Enjoy the weather if you're in a part of the country or the world that has nice weather right now. And I will, again, see you guys in the next video.